Scylla is a small town off the beaten path in southwest Georgia. Quiet and mostly peaceful. But for 6 years, the town has held a mystery.
We have conducted an extensive investigation trying to determine her whereabouts and what might have happened to her, and at this point, we still don't know.
A 30-year-old high school history teacher up and seemingly vanished. And even today, people are still asking, what happened to Tara Grinstead?
She was somebody that was admired in the community by her peers and by her students as well.
Officers with the Ocilla Police Department were called out to Tara's home October 24, 2005, after she didn't report to work. Chief Billy Hancock remembers entering the house.
It just never felt right. It felt like that something was just wrong.
The car still in the carport, her cell phone still on the nightstand, but Tara Grinstead was missing. Right from the outset, Hancock knew this was too big for the small town. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation was called in on day one. Gary Rothwell and his team at the GBI are now handling the investigation.
We didn't have any sign of forced entry. There was no sign of struggle. But that's not to say that, something could have happened. We can't rule that out, but there was no obvious sign of violence within her residence.
Investigators then began trying to account for Tara's movements that Sunday night.
But it culminated in her attending what we would refer to as maybe a barbecue with some friends of hers not too far away from her house. And she left that barbecue shortly after 10:30 and has not been accounted for again yet.
Before that barbecue, Tara stopped at a beauty pageant in Fitzgerald. Noah Griffin is one of the pageant organizers. He remembers seeing his friend that day.
That was one of the things I was asked, did she seem depressed? Did she seem upset? Not to me at all. I mean, she was very just like everyday Tara.
Advising in beauty pageants was one of several responsibilities Tara juggled on top of being a full-time teacher.
She done pageants, she coached girls, she done hair, she done makeup, she was a student at night. I mean, she was just always on the go.
Tara's busy schedule and complicated love life was one of the angles investigators looked at.
She had been engaged in a couple of romantic relationships, and those were certainly the subject of focus initially. We have nobody that we can identify as being someone we believe was associated with the disappearance of Tara. That's not to say that anybody we've talked to has been cleared either.
And even though it's been 6 years with no suspects, the GBI says this is not a cold case.
This case has never gone cold. Leads come in on a weekly basis, I would say, at this point. We have several avenues we're pursuing now.
Jason Shadell is the man in charge of pursuing those new avenues, the lead investigator, and he says he's still soliciting tips.
We want closure to this investigation. The family wants closure to this investigation, and we want to, put some finality to it. They might not think that it's a big lead to them, but to us it might be the one piece of information that maybe breaks this case.
When I travel to this day, every time I go to Tifton, if I go to Savannah, wherever I go, I'm constantly looking for her. And I will look for her until the day I die. But I honestly and truly feel that I will know before it's all said and done, before I die, I will know what happened. I feel like somebody knows something and they're just not talking.
Stay connected to this story online at mysouthwestga.com. Alan Carter, Fox 31 News.
And a few of you commented on this story. Here's what you had to say. Jane Griffin says, quote, "I think her body is right here in Irwin County and she knew her killer." Cynthia James wrote, quote, "She left her purse and stuff. I knew her landlord and supposedly nothing was out of place. I heard so many rumors, but my instincts say no woman would go with a man or another woman they didn't know without a fight." And Melinda and Kenny Bridges posted, quote, "It's so heartbreaking for families to have to wonder what happened to their loved one." Remember, you can comment on anything you find interesting. Just visit our website, mysouthwestga.com, or go to our Facebook or Twitter pages.